Hi guys, Geechu64 here, and today we're talking about Fantastic Four First Steps physical media release, which is just around the corner on October 14th. In this video, we will talk about the options that are available, where to get them, the pricing, the special features, the specs. I'll share my thoughts on the cover art, everything you pretty much need to know about this release in October. I did actually see this movie in IMAX. I actually really enjoyed it. It's the best MCU movie I've seen in years. I've been very critical of the MCU post-Endgame, but I really like this one, so I'm really looking forward to talking about this movie here. So with all that said, let's go ahead and jump into the video. All right, first up, we're going to be looking at the DVD option, which at Walmart is $20, Amazon is $35 for some reason, and Target is $27. Pricing is all over the place here. $20 at Walmart, $20 for new release DVD. That is the basic price. More than likely, Amazon will drop down to $20 by the time it releases, and they do price match their price drops. So, it'll be $20 when it releases. As far as the cover art goes, it's pretty basic, but I don't dislike it. Typically, the DVD has the worst cover of the bunch. They usually use the worst movie poster for the DVD, or they just throw a generic character on there and make the DVD pretty bad. But luckily, most of the Fantastic Four movie posters were pretty good, so that means pretty much across the board we're going to get some pretty good cover art for these releases. But the DVD option is available. Again, it'll probably be $20 on release. For those asking why I'm talking about the DVDs, well, there still are some people who collect the DVDs, and I'm doing this section for you. If you are one of the people who still picks up DVDs, this section's for you. Let's go ahead and move on to the Blu-ray. So the Blu-ray option at Walmart is $41. Amazon's $41 as well, and Target is $32. The pricing is all over the place for this one. I don't understand this at all. This is becoming more and more common. I've done these which version to get videos for a few years now. When I first started doing them, we had more options. There was Target exclusives and Best Buy exclusives. You don't have any of those anymore. That's why I don't do these videos as often. But with the pricing coming out when they first dropped these, they have them really high for some reason. Now, typically a new release Blu-ray is $25. More than likely, Walmart will probably drop down to that, as will Amazon. Target's at $32 right now, which again is still high. So I don't know. More than likely, this is going to drop down to $25. If you go to Walmart to pick this up on release day, it's probably going to be $25 because that's what it's been for all the other releases on the basic Blu-ray. Same cover art as the DVD here. Most of the time, they do a different cover for the Blu-ray, but it really just depends on the studio, what movie posters they decide to go with. I basically have the same thoughts on this cover art I had for the DVD. Looks fine. It's not my favorite out of the options that are available. But it's not bad cover art at all. Now, as far as the special features and the specs, we're going to talk about that later on. And again, everything's going to be chapter marked here in this video. So let's go ahead and move on to the basic 4K option. So here is the basic 4K at Walmart. It's at $30, and then Amazon and Target's listed for $37. Again, all this pricing's all over the place. It's all subject to change. It could drop like the day after I do this video. I don't know. This is what it is right now. Typically, the basic 4Ks are $30. Walmart's at $30. That's what you're probably going to expect to pay if you go and pick this up on release day. Target does not do the price drop match like Amazon does. So if you pre-order it at Target for $37, you're locked into paying $37. Amazon, on the other hand, if you pre-order it at $37 and it drops to $30 before release day, which usually does happen, then you're going to get that lower price at $30. But again, typically the price is $30 here, so that's probably what you're going to get. Now, with this cover art, we're getting into more dynamic covers. I really dig this one. It's my favorite out of all the Fantastic Four posters. I actually kind of want to buy this for my movie poster collection and put it up because, again, I've been very critical about the MCU, but I had a fun time watching this in IMAX. A much better time than what I expected when I went to go see it. And I just really like this poster. The characters are all dynamic. They're all showing off their powers. You have a small little Silver Surfer in the background. You get Galactus's shadow, the Baxter building. They fit a lot into this poster without it feeling too crowded, which can be difficult to do. And you got Herbie down there in the corner as well.
Meet Herbie.
I just think this gives a lot for the eye to look at without feeling overcrowded. I don't think this looks overcrowded to me. I will say that it's always pretty goofy that they add these little taglines at the bottom, like here's Cinematic Universe Edition at the bottom. They do this. They've been doing this for a long time. Like, this is the basic 4K release. Why is this a Cinematic Universe Edition? It's just some extra tagline thing they could throw onto the cover. Kind of goofy. Not really a big fan of that, but obviously it doesn't really take anything away from it. Just kind of a goofy thing that I like to point out when they do it because it's kind of weird. But anyway, overall, I dig this one. I really like the slipcover for this. Colors, dynamic, my favorite poster. So I really like the basic 4K option. Now we're going to get into the premium releases or exclusives and stuff. So first up, we're going to talk about the Walmart exclusive Blu-ray, which is $30, which is typical. Walmart's other exclusive Blu-rays have been $30, so that's probably where this is going to stick at. Walmart exclusives are not the 4K, they're only the Blu-ray. It's the same price as the basic 4K, so basically for the $5 extra, you're going to get this exclusive of cover art and packaging. What is this packaging? Well, this packaging is this right here, what they did with Deadpool and Wolverine, which is its own separate cover art for the release, and then it's got this little pop-up like fold out here. It's supposed to be like a pop-up book. This was Deadpool and Wolverine. This one is one I picked up, and then I picked up the other one they had, which is Thunderbolts. I got this one used at the used bookstore. Somebody traded it in already, and I got it for $15. So anyway, I went ahead and picked that one up. So that's what these look like with these little fold outs. So basically that's what you're going to get for the $5 if you don't particularly care about the 4K and you just want to get a Blu-ray with the exclusive option. I think this is not a bad option that's out there. As far as what the pop-up for this looks like, it looks like this. You got the Fantastic car with all the Fantastic Four in there. Good option to go for a fold out here on the pop up. So I do really kind of dig this one. In regards to the actual art, I obviously don't like this one as much as the basic 4K, but I do like it more than the basic Blu-ray, which is usually the case. The Walmart exclusives, the main reason why I picked up Deadpool and Wolverine was the steelbook for this when it came out was $65. So I didn't want to get the steelbook because that was way overpriced. But I went on release day and ended up getting this because I really liked the cover art. I didn't particularly care for the fold out. I didn't really care one way or the other for the fold out. I just got it because I thought the cover art looked pretty good. But I really do like the fact that we're still getting exclusives from Walmart. I hope they continue doing these. So yeah, the Walmart exclusive Blu-ray is an option that's out there, $30 right now, and they still have some in stock if you're interested in that one. And the other releases have the Walmart's done pretty good about making sure that those actually make them to the physical stores too on release day, from what I've seen. So that's always a good thing as well. But let's go ahead and move on to the 4K Steelbook option. So the 4K Steelbook option at Walmart is $45. At Amazon is $56 right now, and at Target it is sold out. Now, even though Amazon's currently listed for $56, I did pre-order this one at $44. So there's a decent chance that this might drop down to around a $45, $44 mark, maybe even a $40, but probably not. I'd say probably about $45 is about what this is going to be on release. The pricing's all over the place, and obviously Target's already sold out. In my opinion, $40 is like the top that I personally like to pay for a steelbook. Once it gets past $40, it's hard to justify, at least to myself, and I am a steelbook collector, but still, like when you actually break down the math, it's like, all right, well, I could get the basic 4K for $30 versus the 4K, which is $45 to $55, depending on where you're actually pre-ordering at. And you're basically paying over $20, an extra $20 for the packaging to get a steelbook box. And I think that's just kind of insane. It's hard to justify it to myself because I could take that money and I could buy other movies. So, once steelbooks are creeping up to that point, like with Deadpool and Wolverine, they were asking $60 to $65 for it. And that's what the price was all the way through release. So that's actually what it was. And it's hard to justify that. So if this one does stick around $45, That's it's a little bit over what I personally like, but at least it's not a $65 price tag. It's certainly more manageable, and that's why I went ahead and pre-ordered this steelbook option. But let's go ahead and move back to my thoughts here on the cover. I really dig this one. I think the layout's fun. The blue against the subtle off-white color.
Look at that subtle off-white coloring.
There's a lot going on here, but there's a really nice flow to it. Far better than the floating heads posters that we've really gotten over the last 10 to 15 years. A little bit more going on here. I do kind of wish Sue and Reed were equal sizes here, or like maybe flip them a bit and put Sue Storm more on the front. There's also no Galactus here, but Silver Surfer's kind of small in the corner. You can kind of see Charlotte Ball down there. Most of the time, the back of the steelbook can be pretty boring. Like if you look at what they did with Deadpool and Wolverine, it's like the laziest thing you could do. And again, they were charging $65 for this one. But if you compare that to what they did with the back for the Fantastic Four release, you basically have a whole separate cover art that I think actually looks pretty good. I prefer the front, but I really like what they're doing here. And this is good enough that if you wanted to flip it around and display this side, it's certainly justifiable. You get some Galactus representation here. I like that they went with the civilian looks for the Fantastic Four here on the back. The retro color pops. I really dig the back as well. So the front and the back of this steelbook, I do really like. Now let's move on to the 4K steelbook Amazon exclusive, which is currently sold out. It actually sold out within 24 hours, and the price tag was $75. And I know that because I was sitting there ready to pre-order this. I was like, I like the idea of this, and I'll tell you why here in a minute. But I like the idea of this. I want to get this. Within the first 30 minutes of it going live, I was ready to go. I think it was within the first hour. They had it. I clicked on it. $75. $75 they were wanting for this.
And who you think you kidnapped, Chelsea Clinton?
And that obviously warded me very, 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 very far away. The idea that you can get 2 copies on 4K of the basic 4K for still cheaper than this. The steelbook pricing's just getting out of control on some of these. So the reason why I wanted this one, and the thing I thought was cool about it, was it has a interchangeable magnet cover. So it's just a magnet that changes the cover of the steelbook. And they did this with Top Gun Maverick. And I thought it was cool there, but I didn't get to pick one up. I can't demonstrate it to you because I don't have one of those. They don't make that many of them. So I was like, this is a good opportunity for me to get this thing. And that's why I was standing by to pre-order it. $75 obviously ward me away. But the thing is if you remove that magnet cover, it's just the basic steelbook underneath. I do like the cover art here. I like the comic book look. I don't like it as much as the basic 4K or the regular steelbook. But I do like the idea that you got the options here. I like that they went with a classic Jack Kirby design for the Fantastic Four. It's not as good as the other ones visually, but or not as dynamic, but it kind of has some charm to it, and its basicness, and the fact that it's like a harkening back to the Jack Kirby Fantastic Four, the initial creation of the Fantastic Four. So that's pretty cool, and that's kind of why I wanted it, because having the option to flip it out, because I display a lot of my steelbooks from the front when I can. It does also come with some tchotchkes.
They come to tchotchkes for the atmosphere and the attitude.
There's 5 character cards, which kind of reminds me of getting tchotchkes out of a cereal box, from when I was a kid. And there's a small little comic book. I actually have one of these that came with the Power Rangers steelbook. It was a Target exclusive when the Power Rangers movie came out. And, they're kind of like a cool little add-on. It's a cool little thing. But outside of the magnet cover and the 5 character cards and then little comic book, that's what you're getting for the $75 price tag. I think that that's just insane, but it's sold out anyway. So obviously people are willing to pay $75 for it. I'm not one of those people. If you are, that's cool. I've said it before and I'll say it again. There's no wrong way to collect. You spend the money you want on whatever you want for your collection. But for me personally, I think that's way overpriced, and that's why I didn't get it. But I do really dig this. If the price was right, then I would have picked it up, but the price was definitely wrong for me.
The price is wrong.
All right, so let's move into the special features and specs here. So first up, we've got deleted scenes. Looks like we've got 5 deleted scenes that they're currently currently have listed. There's a gag reel, there's 3 featurettes, and then a commentary by the director. They don't have a lot any information out there right now on the runtimes for these special features. Usually that means it's under an hour, because typically if it's over an hour, they like to put in there, over an hour of bonus features. So if you compare that to, either Deadpool or I know for sure with Thunderbolts. With Thunderbolts, the runtime I think was around 40 minutes. If you take all the featurettes and the deleted scenes and stuff, was around 40 minutes for this one. And I want to say this was the same, but I think this might have had a little bit extra. But regardless, both of those, I believe, had under an hour of special features. So that's probably what you're going to get here with these special features with the 3 featurettes, of course, including the commentary. And here are the specs right here. You can go and pause it if you're more interested in seeing what the specs are. All right, let's go and move into a section that I call What's Missing. And I do this on all of my which box set or which version to get videos. These are things that I would have liked to have seen with the release, or that I think maybe should have been included. So first thing I want to talk about is there's no director's cut or a longer extended version of the Fantastic Four movie. Now, the director has said that there were significant portions of the movie that were taken out. You're going to see some of those obviously in the deleted scenes, but from what he said, it seemed like there's almost a different cut of the movie out there. Now, we're not going to get that because a lot of those scenes required, they were unfinished effects and things like that that needed to be included in order to actually make it a extended cut. Marvel has done this with some other movies that are out there that have a lot of stuff that's on the cutting room floor that we're probably never going to see. That seems to be the case here, but with this one in particular, I would have liked to have seen them put some money into doing an extended cut. I don't think we're going to get that down the road. Something like John Malkovich was in the initial trailers for this movie, but he was completely taken out from the movie. You have John Malkovich and you just took him out. I think he was supposed to play Red Ghost, if I'm not mistaken. And I guess you see a little bit of the Super Apes in the opening scene. I've only seen this the one time in IMAX, so I'm trying to remember. But, it's not like in the old days where you actually got extended versions of the movie. This was something that was for physical media. And since physical media, we're still getting it, but we're not getting it to the same degree. It's not getting marketed or the money put into it like we used to. And like this one right here, this is about a 20-minute longer cut of the 2005 Fantastic Four movie. As far as I know, this is not on any streaming, and the only official release of this on physical media was this DVD that I know of. And this is a much better version of the 2005 Fantastic Four movie, in my opinion. So, it'd be nice if we kind of got something like that. It's a nicety, but it is something that's kind of missing here. But it'll be interesting to see what deleted scenes actually show up here. The other thing that's missing is IMAX. Marvel doesn't release this stuff in IMAX on their physical media. They seem to only release the IMAX enhanced versions for their streaming service.
Man, that sucks!
I don't know why they only have the IMAX version for the streaming. It's kind of goofy. So there's no IMAX version of this movie here. I would have also liked to have seen maybe a 3-pack that includes the 2005 and the 2005 Fantastic Four movie and Rise of the Silver Surfer. I think it would have been a cool little option out there to get all 3 of those movies together. And normally here in this section, I would recommend different poster designs for the covers, but I'm pretty happy with what they went with. A lot of really good posters to choose from. I think they did a good job here, so that's not something I'm going to talk about here in the What's Missing section. For the most part, I like the cover art that they went with. So let's go ahead and recap all the options that are available. First, you've got the DVD, which at Walmart is $20, Amazon's $35, and Target is $27. We've got the Blu-ray, Walmart's at $41, Amazon's at $41, Target's at $32. The basic 4K, Walmart's at $30, Amazon and Target are at $37. With the Walmart exclusive Blu-ray, it's at $30, which is probably where it's going to stay at. The 4K Steelbook at Walmart is $45, at Amazon is $56, and Target is currently sold out. And then the 4K Steelbook Amazon exclusive, which was originally listed for $75, sold out within the first 24 hours. Maybe they'll get some more in stock, but as of right now, it is currently sold out. So if you stuck around this long in the video, thank you. A little bit of an Easter egg here. I used to work at Blockbuster and I have a lot of Blockbuster stuff from when I worked there. One of those things I have is from the Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer release. This was actually on the new release wall. So, remember on the new release wall, you'd have on the top for the new releases, we'd have these these things up there. Isn't that... It's just awesome. It's pretty cool. I just wanted to bust it out and share it with you guys. So that concludes this video on the Fantastic Four First Steps physical media release, which box set to get or which version to get videos. I really like doing these types of videos, but I don't get a big opportunity to do them like I used to do here on the channel because there's no Best Buy or Target anymore. But with this release, you did have quite a few options available, so that's what made me want to go ahead and do this video. I may do a which version to get video for Back to the Future 40th anniversary, which is actually releasing the same day as Fantastic Four. So perhaps I will do that. If you're interested in that, comment and let me know. But let me know which version of Fantastic Four you guys are going to pick up. If you made it this far in the video, there's a pretty decent chance that you're going to pick up one of these. Let me know which version you want to pick up, or if you've already pre-ordered one, in the comments below. I want to thank everybody for sticking around on this video. Thank you, subscribers. All of you are awesome. And if you like this video, please like, comment, share, subscribe. Do all the YouTube stuff or don't. I'm not a beggar. I'm KeyTrue64, and I'll always tell you the truth.